Du 7 au 17 décembre, retrouvez vos artisans professionnels d'ici au Salon des métiers d'art du Québec. Des milliers d'objets de création uniques et éco-responsables au cœur du Palais des congrès de Montréal. Activités pour petits et grands. Retrouvez l'art d'ici au Salon des métiers d'art du Québec. Billetterie et détails sur matière.ca.
Bonjour à tous et re-bienvenue au Studio des métiers d'art, donc en direct du Salon des métiers d'art qui a lieu cette année au Palais des congrès. On est ici jusqu'au 17 décembre prochain et quand je dis « on », ça veut dire surtout les artisans. Plus de 215 artisans qui sont présents et qui nous proposent des produits, des créations vraiment dans tous les domaines. Vous allez trouver de la céramique, vous allez trouver de la joaillerie, vous allez trouver de l'ébénisterie, donc des meubles, vous allez trouver évidemment des vêtements et toutes sortes d'autres cadeaux qu'on a envie de faire avec cette saison des fêtes qui est officiellement commencée. Pour moi, la saison commence un peu avec le Salon des métiers d'art parce qu'on se sent dans l'ambiance des fêtes et on va avoir beaucoup de réunions familières, réunions avec des amis où on va sûrement devoir amener des cadeaux d'hôtes ou des cadeaux tout simplement. Puis c'est vraiment un excellent endroit pour venir faire ces trouvailles-là, d'acheter des produits qui sont faits ici par des artisans d'ici. Et donc, en achetant ici, bien, on contribue à la communauté des artisans, on contribue à l'économie locale. Et puis aussi, on fait un geste qui est durable parce que tous les produits qu'on peut acheter ici, l'objectif, c'est de les garder longtemps. Mon nom est Lolitta Dandoy, je suis l'ambassadrice mode du salon pour une 3e année, toujours aussi heureuse et fière de l'être, fière de pouvoir faire briller les artisans et à l'intérieur du studio de métiers d'art, fière de pouvoir faire des belles rencontres avec des gens, avec soit des artisans ou des gens qui gravitent autour de la communauté artisane. Et mon invité aujourd'hui, d'ailleurs, j'en profite pour vous dire tout de suite qu'on va faire cette entrevue en anglais. Donc, je vais parler en anglais à partir de maintenant. So, our guest today is Mike Patten. He is the General Manager of BACA. Donc, c'est la Biennale des arts contemporains autochtones. Mike, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So, this is going to sound very jet set, but the last time we saw each other, it was in Paris. It was during le Salon Révélation, which is an international salon for contemporary art, but les salons des métiers d'art, but a lot of contemporary art that you found there. It was the first time that I attended an event of this ampleur. I'm using a lot of French word, and it was really amazing to see you there. Can you tell us a little bit, what was your experience there? Like, where were you there in Paris?
Well, for the event, there was a focus on Quebec. And within that selection, they wanted to emphasize the collaboration with Indigenous artists. So I was brought on board just to curate an exhibition of some Native artists. And we had a really great spot. We were in kind of these open platforms in the center of the building, and it was quite a wonderful experience for me and for the artists to discuss Native art with visitors that don't necessarily have much experience with knowing Native art.
Yes,
yeah.
I'm going to take the time to translate this because I think it's really important just to know and to situate why we're talking about this. Donc, l'été dernier, en juin dernier, le Québec était à l'honneur au Salon Révélation, Salon des métiers d'art à Paris. Et donc, Mike était présent parce qu'il y avait vraiment une exposition sur des artistes autochtones et lui a fait le choix de tous les artistes et de ce qui était exposé. Et il y a vraiment eu un tellement beau succès. Il mentionnait qu'il était situé dans une allée centrale. Donc, dès qu'on rentrait dans le salon, on voyait directement. Et le Québec a vraiment rayonné. J'ai eu la chance de le voir, donc je peux vous le dire. Et ça a duré même au-delà du salon, ce rayonnement. Puis parfois, on a besoin de voir nos artisans ou notre province, notre pays briller quelque part d'autre, briller dans les yeux des autres pour réaliser à quel point on a du talent ici. Et je peux vous dire que c'était vraiment le cas. So, Mike, so this experience you were saying, you brought Indigenous artists, you curated all this part of what was shown. Mm-hmm. When you came back, because I know that you came back to a lot of more work, but were you happy of the result? Were you happy of how things were showcased, of the relationships that you created?
Oh yeah, it was a fantastic experience, great organization, lots of people, lots of interest. It was a very positive experience for me. And all the artists were present as well, so they're able to, speak and meet with other people there. And who knows what that's going to lead to in the future.
Of course, because it's a place where, even here, when we're at Salon des Métiers d'Art, a lot of artisans tell us, sometimes somebody's going to stop by, going to try to find out about what they do. They won't buy something, but they will keep that card, or they will keep that connection that they made. And a few weeks, a few months later, they're going to come back, they're going to buy, and they're going to let the artisan know, you know what, I met you at this salon, I met you at Salon Révélation, and now I would like to collaborate or do something. So these events are really great places to connect. And even if it doesn't happen right there, after there can be some effects of these meetings. Yeah. And to come back to another important event that's coming up for you, because I just said, you have not stopped working in the past few months. We are starting a very important event for you starting in March. Can you tell us what it is?
Yeah, so our Biennale, the next edition, the 7th one, is happening next spring. And it goes from March all the way until the end of September. And then there's a touring aspect that happens after that date.
And that will happen where, the touring aspect?
So that's going to be at the Museum of Rimouski.
Okay.
Yeah.
And for those who live in Montreal, because so this is la Biennale des Arts Autochtones, des Arts Contemporains Autochtones. Yeah. It starts in March. Like, can you give us an idea of maybe 1 or 2 or 3 events that will happen in Montreal that we'll have a chance to go and discover? Sure.
So before the Biennale officially opens, we're going to have a special collaboration with the McCord Museum. They're going to be working with Jason Berg and Caroline Monet. They're going to be creative directors in a fashion show. So it's quite exciting because I've never organized a fashion show before or been involved. So it's quite nice. They're going to be working with the museum. They went through their collection last week to see what they could pull out that they could the models could actually wear. It's really important for the organizers and for the creative directors. They're going to select models from the region. Okay. So it's going to bring in some Indigenous folks into the museum, which is great. And then also at the McCord, they're going to have a artist collaboration with a single artist, MC Snow. And they've been working with them throughout the year, also going into their collection, trying to find inspiration. And so there's going to have some, fragments of pottery and other things that have been dug up, that have been, hidden for so long.
That are going to come out and we're going to be able to see.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's something the McCord likes to do, is kind of like re-energize their collection.
Of course. And okay, I hope it's okay that I keep asking you a few more questions about that fashion show, because you know I'm a fashion journalist and that's really my passion. So obviously it really speaks to me. Yeah. Will that fashion show be accessible to the public?
Yeah, it's going to be accessible to the public. There's going to be, as far as I know, I don't think there's going to be a fee.
But you have to reserve. Usually, I think that's how it happens at Musée McCord. You have to reserve your tickets when some events come out.
That's right.
So there's going to be Indigenous models, and the clothes that are going to be shown are from the archives, if we can say, of the museum. So what they have, they're going to go get some clothes there?
No, all the clothes are going to be done by Indigenous designers.
Yeah. Okay.
But they're going to have elements like, say, jewelry or other things that they could be like some wearables. And that's going to be the collaboration with the collection that way.
Do you have an idea of how many Indigenous designers that are going to be featured?
I'm not sure exactly at this point, but we should have the information by the new year.
Well, I hope you're going to keep me posted, because I'm definitely going to be there. I'm going to find a way, whatever I have that day, because we don't get that opportunity often to get to see Indigenous designers.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I follow many of them through social media, and there's so much talent. And I love when we see a mix of tradition with modernity, and this to me is really amazing. Yeah. And actually, I think you've seen it when we come in Salon des Métiers d'Art. There's an exhibit with Winifred Design, which is an Inuit designer, and that's exactly what she does. So she brings the tradition of the parka, exactly how it was always made, but then bringing a bit of modernity into it. And I think you've seen it. The result is pretty amazing.
Yeah, the fashion show coincides with Jason's solo show at Gallery Armure. It's a commercial gallery in Rosemont area. Okay. So people that are interested in seeing his artwork, like he focuses on painting and sculpture, you could see his show. And then the fashion show will happen in February. So.
And if we want, because as you said, maybe in January we're going to start to have a bit more news. Yeah. If our listeners or public want to go see the program of the whole Biennale, where can we see that?
So you just go to the BACA website. It's just baca.ca.
OK, donc baca.ca pour aller voir toute la programmation de la Biennale des arts contemporains autochtones. Et comme Mike l'a dit, il va y avoir plein d'événements qui vont avoir lieu entre le mois de mars et même jusqu'au mois de septembre, entre autres au musée McCord. Et vous avez peut-être déjà compris, mais il me parlait d'un défilé de mode, puis ça, c'est quelque chose qui m'intéresse particulièrement. Donc, ça va être un défilé de mode qui va avoir lieu au musée McCord et pour lequel on va tous être conviés. Il faudra juste prendre nos billets une fois que c'est en ligne. Donc, n'hésitez pas de rester à l'affût. Yeah. Other than that, what is keeping you busy? What are you excited about? Even though I'm sure that the Biennale is a big one.
Yeah, the Biennale. Well, there's a number of other locations. So after the McCord, there's the DRAC in Drummondville.
Okay.
That one is the first official BACA exhibition, and then we have at the Guild. In Montreal.
Dans le Vieux-Montréal, in Old Montreal?
It's next to the Museum of Fine Arts.
Okay,
and they specialize in Inuit art and
Okay.
Indigenous art. Then we have Stewart Hall in Pointe Claire. Then we have the Maison de la Culture in Verdun, Gallery Art Mirror. And am I missing any? Oh, yeah,
I can't tell you.
There's so many.
Well, but it's great.
Also, I'm sorry, Expression and Saint-Hyacinthe.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's great to see that for that period, if we're open to that and if we are looking at the program, we're going to be able to see a lot of Indigenous art a little bit everywhere in the city. Do you feel yourself that because what I wish and what I would really like is for us to be able to always have a chance to discover it. And sometimes it's like very specific events, like you were saying. Would you see that there's a way that, I don't know, if the communication can be the best so that we can all get together and make sure that all parts of the province are represented, of course, including Indigenous artists?
Well, this edition, we expanded a bit. We've invited 4 curators, but they're from different regions of Canada. So Laurie Beavis is going to concentrate on the South and Central Canada, and then Emma is going to be doing the East Coast, and then Teresa's doing the North, and then the West Coast is going to be Jake Kimball.
So these curators coming from all over Canada, they're going to be participating in the Biennale?
Yeah,
that's what you're saying?
They're going to be the curators,
Okay.
and there's 4 of them, and then they're going to be selecting from their regions. But the exhibitions themselves, they're not going to be focused on just one group. It's going to be a mix of all of them. So they're really working as a team for each venue.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I know it might be hard to answer these questions because there's many artists in many fields. But if you were to tell me, if we're not exposed to Indigenous arts, what are we missing?
One aspect of the Biennale that I think it's important is that we have statements and texts and biographies next to all the pieces. So in case you need that little bit of information about where they're coming from or the significance of it, we include that as kind of like an educational component.
Yeah.
And I think it's enriching because you can kind of understand a little bit about what the meaning is behind it.
Yeah, so throughout the exhibition and the different events, there's always going to be that information
That's
part,
right.
that background part.
Yeah.
And but what I was trying to say, I think maybe I didn't express myself well, is that it's hard to kind of put everything into one basket, but if we are not seeing this art, what I was meaning is like, what are we missing? Because we see it here, but we're missing part of our history if we're not exposed to it.
Yeah, I think the reason the BACA was created because we felt like there was a lack of visibility.
Yeah.
Like you don't visibly see a lot of inclusion. Of course, it's changed now because we were found the exhibition. The first one was in 2012, and then since then, I mean, there's been an explosion of interest, and I think we're just helping to do our part by getting these artists out there, getting them known, and just helping them support them so they can continue on their careers and flourish.
And you're saying that, things have gotten better when we talk about inclusion and visibility. Do you feel that there's even more that we can do? And if yes, what is it?
Yeah, I think so. I think even for events like this, if they could help with, subventions to get people welcome and involved. So it isn't just non-native people, but it's also including, because the native communities, there's huge in terms of fine craft and craft making. And, we're also looking for those artists too to try to like bring them into exhibitions and to help them. You know.
When we're on the BACA website, is there some type of a list where we can see all the artists and artisans that are throughout the province and even throughout Canada?
I don't have a database yet, but that's something that I've been working on because I think it's important as a resource. So then people could say, oh, who are the Native people or artists that are presenting and producing? Yeah.
And hopefully one day even something that would lead from that database to a commercial website. That would be amazing. I mean, to be able to find them, but also to be able to kind of purchase it at in one place. I know that just, let's say with Montreal designers, a lot of people thought something was missing, which was we don't know where the Montreal designers are located in the city. Where are their boutiques? Where can we find them? And at one point there was a list made, and you know, now there's some websites where we can find local fashion, and I think that's really great because instead of going, I'm not even going to name them, but instead of going shopping in these really big commercial American websites, if we could find somewhere where they're all together, it just makes the online shopping easier. And you know that if you're looking for that, well, there's somewhere where you can find it. So
I
don't know if you think this is something that we can
definitely,
think about.
It's something that we've been discussing to be able to do that and provide that kind of service. But as of now, we just have all the artists that we've worked with personally. So all the statements and the artists and the images, they're all online. So it's very comprehensive.
Okay, great. Well, I'm going to make sure to go see it because I'm asking you all these questions. I've never been to the BACA website, but I'm going to go especially, to find out all the events happening around the Biennale. And there's one last question that I would like to ask you and, take the opportunity that you're here. So yesterday I was looking at the exhibition of Winifred, and there was this lady there that was looking at it at the same time. And I told her, because we were next to each other, these mittens looked like the warmest mittens in the world. I wish I could get a pair. Yeah. And then she said, I love that coat. But she said, but I don't know if it would be, how did she say that? I don't know if it would be politically correct for me to wear them. And I said, of course. I even, had a chance to interview the designer that made it. And she said that her parkas are for everyone. It's just the amauti, the ones with the mom and baby, that she doesn't sell, but the rest are for everyone. And so what I want to ask you is, what should we say when people have that fear or that worry that by buying that, we're not really supposed to wear it?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of, people have that worry that they want to be respectful, and they have those questions, and they're totally honest. And it's something that we come up with in the Biennale too with visitors. Is like, is this for me? But we try to make it as welcoming as that it is for everyone. It isn't just a native audience, but also it's native and non-native audience.
So in terms of like, I hope it's okay I use that word, but in terms of education, do you think that maybe starting to share a message that buying from these different designers and wearing it is more about celebrating than appropriating?
Oh, exactly, 100%.
Yeah. Because I think the cultural appropriation for a while, it was a very big subject of discussion, and it brought a lot of very good things because, especially in the fashion world, there was a lot of big houses of fashion that would that were appropriating.
Yeah, headdresses.
Exactly. And they were not giving back the credit, or they were not, which would be the more important, make collaborations with these artists if they were to make things like that.
Yeah.
So for that part, I think it was really important, but it brought out some kind of fear that exactly of what I was saying. And I'm like, I wish that didn't stop people from buying. So I'm happy that you're saying that this is something that's going to be discussed during the Biennale, because I feel, it's something that we kind of need to talk about and make sure that, we just understand that it's supporting artists and celebrating their work.
Well, we also have a project space for emerging artists, and Julie Mackey is the artist right now, and she also specializes in jewelry. If you go to Little Moon Creations, you can go on our website, Or you
Okay.
come to the gallery and you can see, and her earrings are a big hit. Everyone loves them.
Little Moon
Little Moon Creations.
Creation. Okay, I'm
Yeah,
definitely
so
gonna go
she's
check
a really
it out.
great designer, but also she does paintings and other pieces. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, great. Thank you so much, Mike, for taking the time to come and see us here at Salon des Métiers d'Art and to talk with us. Once again, I want to remind you, je veux vous rappeler que la Biennale de l'art contemporain autochtone s'en vient à partir du mois de mars. Et si vous allez sur le site, donc baca.ca, vous allez pouvoir trouver la programmation, plein d'événements qui vont avoir lieu un peu partout à Montréal, mais aussi à l'extérieur de Montréal. Donc, prenez la peine d'aller le voir. Je pense que, ben, en tout cas, évidemment, j'y ai pas encore assisté, mais juste à entendre Mike parler, ça me donne vraiment le goût d'aller découvrir, un peu comme on le fait ici, mais découvrir des artisans qui sont autochtones. Mike, thank you again.
Thank you.
Is there something that you want to leave us with, a last message?
Come to the Biennale.
Come to the Biennale. Merci.
Yeah, thank you.
Et moi, j'en profite aussi une petite dernière fois pour vous dire de venir nous voir ici au Salon des Métiers d'Art. On est là jusqu'au 17 décembre au Palais des congrès. C'est super accessible, pas besoin d'auto. D'ailleurs, le parking n'est pas toujours facile. On est au métro Place d'Armes, donc même pas besoin de sortir à l'extérieur. Il y a plus de 215 artisans qui sont ici dans tous les domaines confondus. Donc, venez voir, venez magasiner, venez trouver des belles choses pour le temps des fêtes. Là, justement, je ne sais pas si on les voit de loin, j'espère. Je porte des bijoux aujourd'hui, les boucles d'oreilles et le collier de Véronique Roy, qui est une artisane présente ici au salon, évidemment, puis qui fait vraiment des beaux bijoux, tout en délicatesse, mais qui ont leur effet. Donc, oui, une dernière chose, vous pouvez continuer à suivre nos belles conversations, nos belles rencontres sur matière.ca, donc matière avec un S.ca. On a encore plein d'émissions à vous présenter. Merci beaucoup.